So, as I already mentioned, this is the initial, and you will reach it. So, one of the concrete, we already heard about the summary from the prior sessions. We have already heard about the plenary sessions findings. Now just about, now we want to raise some concrete issue, and we'll include also the rest concrete issues. The first concrete issue here identified is AI as a threat or risks and opportunities too. We heard here at the plenary session as well as at the prior session about this. The AI has, if there is misuse of AI, it will be hazardous or risk. But proper or responsible AIs is already indicated or recommended. So for this, we mentioned some actions. The first is develop or implement, if there is a policy about AI, governance and ethics policy, just to implement it, if not yet, for its institution to develop it. So establishing AI risk mitigation strategy is very important, and introduce AI literacy training for staff, students, and develop AI tools for misinformation detection. So we also mentioned about key owners or actors, just not limited to here, the Jimma University, just as Minister of Education, Minister of Health, Minister of Innovation and Technology, and research institutions, not limited to this, but we mentioned some. If you see the level of urgency, this one is it should be short-term act. As we already heard from both the plenary session as well as the prior session, if you will not control the AI may control us. So it's a call for action to act on it. So the time is not, it should be implemented, or it should be acted upon on this issue. The other concrete issue raised is about limited integration of green economy in development, is with regional economy integration. So this one is also, as is already mentioned, as a key findings. We also take as a concrete finding for that. So it's important to promote climate smart agriculture research, build regional research network, promote cross-border innovation program, and so on. Infrastructure development and a clear, localized, and enforceable legal framework is very important. So we already listed those actors. And the time for this also is that from the short term, some of the points can be acted on short term, and the other may act on at the medium term point. The other concrete issue is about hydro diplomacy issue. It's also cooperation versus conflicts over the water resource in Nile Basin. So it should be cooperation, not conflict, but the reality, or what should be, is cooperation should overweight, or should more than conflicts. So, but in recent or the current issues, the reverse. So it's also one of the parts, and the negotiation capacity. So for this established hydro diplomacy research center is one of the action we propose. As we already mentioned, this was the initial one. So train experts and share transfer capacity and learning in water negotiation and governance, policy briefs, or produce policy brief for evidence-based advocacy, and facilitates regional dialogue platforms is also a proposed action. So the actors is here, and the time is also just for its strict time, also it can be It should be sustainable. So for sustainability, it should be started, and it's also for the sustainability should be worked on it also. And the other concrete areas about evidence to policy translation issue is obvious. It's a great gaps in evidence translation to policy in academic, especially since it's the research on today's plenary morning plenary session was on the research on already conducted in academic institution or the 4 universities. So there is a gap. So it's also research just limited to only publication rather than to be translated to policy and impact. So just it should be beyond the publication. It should be to translated to policy and impacts. So this is one of the gaps, already one of the concrete area which require action on it. So for this, establish policy engagement and evidence translation unit within the university or greater partnership, okay? Or it's already mentioned. There is within the industry linkage, but since it's no clear description or job description there or so, since this is the, one of the concrete and the main, or one of the concrete points, it should be bolded. And so to do so, it's better, we recommend to establish policy engagement and evidence translation units within the university. So then develop evidence synthesis and translation capacity and infrastructure, development of policy briefs for impactful research, co-develop policy priority research is also very important to, as a priority agenda within the regular review meetings and updates, okay? So those actors is here, universities, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, research institutions, not limited to this, so we mentioned us. So it's, this one is, as I already mentioned, this one is this one is about the initial point. Now, I will give chance to, especially before going to the top management, I will give chance for the top management, for the parallel session chairs or reporters to just add upon the concrete findings, and I will just proceed to the higher, the higher officials and those stakeholders, key stakeholders. So the first, if this one is just as an initial point, if you detect any or just concrete points to be taken as action point or a call for action, so I will give chance for the chairs or the rapporteur of the parallel session. If not, I will proceed to those key actors on it. Any point? Any point to add on this to be taken as a call for action, to be act immediately, just or within middle term or for the long term, if you have any point to add. Otherwise, I will just give to, I will give the chance for stakeholders, key stakeholders and top management. Okay, no? Okay, if not, just if the key stakeholders, they're just distinguished guests and those stakeholders. So if you have any points should be addressed. Hello? Aldakamachu madam? Please, this one is just only facilitations. Just we have to reach as a for the fruitfulness of this conference. Just this is not only gathering, as we already mentioned. At the end, we have to translate those results to action. For this, we mentioned some few pointers, so you can add on it. So if the chairs and rapporteurs or parallel sessions don't have any additional points, I give the chance for key stakeholders and top management of the university. Okay? Prof. Manu, you can just say something so that the others also can.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Brahani, for the wonderful work, at least the draft call for action, because from this gathering, we need to have critical points to be mentioned and acted upon. Most of the issues have been raised. I think for long term, what we need to do will remain. And also, I haven't seen the innovation for health and education as one sub-theme. What has been discussed there and key critical points which has been raised by the first lead paper presenter, also from the parallel session. As we know, the human development is key for keeping the peace. So in the first one, you have mentioned the AI issue. Yes, we need to have the policy. If we are not using artificial intelligence in a proper way, it will destroy us. But if we use it properly, we can reduce many of our problems from taking long, for example, in health diagnostic and the like, it has been done in faster time. So any issues raised in this area needs to be part of the call for action, be it for Ministry of Education or Ministry of Health. Also, if thought that it can be addressed under the gap between evidence and translation, that can be also accepted, but good to have key points from those areas. Otherwise, most of the things during the discussion have been captured and you have drafted well addressed responsible bodies, universities, ministerial offices and research institutes to act upon this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. So, thank you. It's yes, one of the points can one of the concrete points can be taken from the innovation in health and education. So I purposefully I give the chance for the parallel session reporters or leaders to add on it. So thank you, Prof. Yeah, one is the point.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Brani, for capturing the major issues, especially the point raised on the plenary session, both yesterday and today are well captured. What I remember from the session reporter is the issue of climate change. Probably climate change could be also one of the very top priority areas. So I also suggest including climate change as an issue, and then thinking about how to mitigate this climate issue, and is also strengthening some of the action being taken, like the green legacy. But I would like to hear from one of the session reporters that there is some argument on whether the climate mitigation issues are really improving or enhancing the actions, and probably they may reflect on whether the green legacy is not somehow mitigating the climate challenges. So just to summarize, climate change or climate issue is one of the major issues that we have to pick, and then also somehow some point for its mitigation, and who will be responsible for action. That's my recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Kadama. It's also one of the concrete points that we added. Okay. Okay. So, thank you. We want two more concrete points to be reached this document. So we would like to hear from the others also, including the parallel session reporters or chairs, and the key stakeholders, respected guests. Okay, okay, Professor, or just give the chance.
Yeah, thank you for giving me this chance. I also appreciate the way you have captured the main important points. Just to add one point, that at parallel session 2, very pressing issue, the issue of migration was presented. There, the presentation indicated that there is still tension between Ethiopia's government interest to protect the human rights through bilateral agreements and by legalizing migrants' move to, especially to the Middle East, particularly UAE, and at the same time, job seekers opt the irregular routes, and then the human rights violation is still there. So that requires a comprehensive policy, because we don't have comprehensive policy, and even those bilateral agreements are not fully implemented. So this requires due attention by the government and different stakeholders. And as we all know, the issue of migration is a very pressing issue. And I would like if that is included in this points for action. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, I think someone here. Thank you. Just to
Okay, thank you. Okay.
just to say something about that.
Yes. Thank you very much for preparing this call to action as part of the takeaway. Just I want to, I first appreciate just you taking the case of Hydro Diplomacy Center And with that, I also propose in the first team that if you could include us in your call of action, the AI Innovation Lab, so that you can begin with small scale and then develop in the campus system. And probably this also has to be supported by the resources and the grants that really needs. There is already established panel, advisory panel. So this scientific research advisory panel has to be included. That you have to strengthen that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just, it's a very important issue stressed already about the migration issue. If you already participated in the last Mondays, our community days, or community day on Monday, one of the issue just is implemented as community engagement or communities about just those just an issue about or migration, especially just supporting those from return from back to from the abroad. Okay, so our university also concerned about the issue. So it's one of the issues, especially as a community engagement or as a community. So on a community day is one of the core interest and one of the intervention, okay? Intervention taken or implemented in for our university. So it's important to look on it also for this. And thank you also, we will take those and we will finalize the documents just based on your inputs, as I already mentioned. Thank you for the inputs. Okay, if you have any other important issue. Yeah, okay, just issue. So, as I already, we promised for that, based on your inputs, okay, this, the final documents will be prepared and can be just call for action for the International Research Conference of Jimma University. So we'll finalize the document based on your inputs, okay? So thank you for your great participations. So do you have any? Okay, thank you, Prof. Just, I just only give one, ladies, or just for to the four process. Okay, 1 minute. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, I don't have much to say, but just to show my solidarity for the ladies out there. Yeah, in the parallel sessions and even the plenary sessions, I really didn't see the ladies with chairing or reporting. I think this is what the Office of Vice President for Research and Partnership has to work on. Even I was one of the reporter, but unfortunately my role was overridden. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Brani, for well captured presentation. I don't know if what I'm going to tell you is already presented or not. Maybe you can pick if it is not repeated. Yeah, use of AI is one of the major point or the major issue raised in the presentation. It was considered as an opportunity for all people in the globe. At the same time, challenges were also presented, especially in terms of the availability of infrastructure, AI literacy problem too, access to the AI tools. Even at some point I heard that there is an outdated computer that can hinder the application or implementation of AI in most of educational or whatever sectors we might use it. And one point I want to capitalize on is on contextualization of the AI to the existing condition. You know, the AI that may work or in the US might not work here. We have big differences in terms of culture, custom, belief, practice, and so on. So that the AI we are thinking, we are considering as a tool for promotion, a tool for development, has to be contextualized to the existing situation. In a way, we need to be very careful when we develop a policy, as it might be damaging instead of promoting, because there are many things already raised. I will not repeat that one, but careful development planning on the implementation of this AI, not only at the institutional level, at the national level, is very important. Another point which has been raised and having got adequate emphasis is translation of evidences to policy. It was mentioned that there is a friction. The reason for that friction is most generally saying there is no a linkage through which researchers that can produce evidences communicate with the concerned policymaker. So one thing, creating creating a procedure or a step or link on how these evidences has to be communicated to concerned body is very essential. At the same time, there must be a means to ensure whether the policy we are communicating as a researcher are really reached there and in practice or implemented or in use. One point, maybe the last point, institutionalization of our research work from the very beginning in the process, as well as involving stakeholders that can recognize the output of our research is very important, so that this can ease the communication or continuation of our evidences to be used by the concerned body. Again, need for collaboration between the policy makers and the researcher is very important, so that everyone should be on board and the communication between the researcher and the policymaker would be there. And then the impact of our effort, what we do, will get it, will touch its target, so that the problem on the ground could be solved. Thank you very much again.
Thank you, Professor Zagay, for just adding on for your inputs. We will use those recommendations from the detailed document from the prior session as well as the plenary session to reach this one. This one is only the concrete point. So we will reach it. We will get the full documents or from this the whole documents from the reporters. All. So we'll reach on it for that. Thank you so much for just about especially contextualizing of AI, just about responsible AI. So just it can be, this one is as a concrete point, the way the detailed action can be just planned for with by the actors or those stakeholders. Thank you for the honor. Thank you all for your great contribution for this discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Brahane and Dr. Roinishet. Would you please, with a round of applause. We appreciate the summary, the ideas you raised, and the contributions being made. we are about to conclude our conference, but we have to recognize those who should be recognized. So for this, I would like to call upon Dr. Henok to proceed with the recognition. Dr. Henok, the stage is yours. Following him, we will have a certification with Dr. Jimma. Dr. Henok.
Good evening, all. Finally, we reached to the point where we are going to conclude our research conference. And thank you very much for the participation and full engagement in the International Conference of Jimma University. Now, upon this, let me call Professor Mulumabet for the award. Thank you, Prof. So first, we will recognize our lead paper presenters. We do have 4 lead paper presenters. One of the presenter was Professor Jacob Arsano. Prof, I think he's not here. Professor Ali Askari, I think he's here. Yeah. It is a recognition for your time and dedication from Jimma University. Next, Dr. Muluna Atnaf. It's possible. Dr. Muluna, I think Tokai Kalla. Dr. Muluna, are you here? So next, we are recognizing to the sponsors that we had for this wonderful conference. We do have, as you can see from the banner, Fenot Associates and GGI, as well as Hakila Lab has sponsored partially to this program. So this is a recognition going to give for these 3 sponsors. I would like to call Fenot Associates, anyone who is representative. Fenot, Dr. Daniel. For GGI, Dr. Tafara. Dr. Tafara, I think he's here. Yeah, he's here. ክርስቲያኑ Hakila Lab, anyone from the team? Yes. I think ጭብጨባ ያንሳል ደከማችሁ መሰለኝ። እሺ በእኔ በኩል ጨርሻለሁ። ቀጥሎ የአዋርድ ኮሚቴዎች ይረከባሉ። ዶክተር ኢማም ለሰርተፊኬት
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.